Everyone, it's 8 p.m. and welcome to the East Coast Reflector Open Mic Night. I'm Terry, N5RTC, and I'm your net control. Tonight at about 8:30, I'll be turning things over to Oliver, KE8VLC, to take you up to the 9 o'clock hour. Gil, K4GDS, will log your check-ins, and Mark, K2ES, will pitch in if he's needed. So you're in good hands tonight. If you'd like to follow along in the log, visit ecr.radio/logs and click on Open Mic Night. If you want to avoid check-in pileups, text your call sign and only your call sign to 716-317-9050. Or you can email your call to text, T-E-X-T, at ecr.radio. If you text or email, please stay around to be called on when you come up on the log. Okay, let's get started. Tonight's question: do you use an internet software-defined radio, or SDR, when operating your station? If you don't know what an SDR is, maybe the TechNet next Tuesday night can help you out. We'll check in mobiles first and then do general check-ins. So let's have any mobiles. Please give us your call sign twice and slowly.
Echo India 2 Hotel India Mobile, EI2HI Mobile in Ireland. Name is Hugh. Go ahead.
Well, good evening, Hugh. We'll get to you in just a moment. Let's hear more mobile check-ins. If you're out there and are mobile, please give me your call sign twice and slowly.
KJ5MLZ, KJ5MLZ, Indianapolis.
CMT 2 Charlie Mike Tango.
Okay, and let's hold up a minute because I did call for mobiles and mobiles only. Come now with your call sign twice and slowly. Well, I'm not hearing any other mobiles. I've got K2CMT, KJ5MLZ, who's an in and out, and then Hugh, EI2HI, from County Cork, Ireland. Did you hear our question of the night, Hugh?
Yes, Net Control, very, very good morning to you from Ireland. I did get the question, I did indeed, and the answer to that is I use a hybrid radio. It's a Yaesu FTDX 101, and I believe it's a hybrid. And I don't have a full SDR radio, but it's hybrid. Not sure if that answers the question or not. But anyway, yeah, very good morning to you from Ireland. I'm just here in the suburbs of Cork City, heading to a place called Bandon. So very good morning to everyone from this side of the Atlantic Ocean. And I'll leave it back to you there in net control. I'll be listening with interest. From Echo India 2, Hotel India Mobile, Cork City, Ireland. Go ahead.
Very nice.
Well, Hugh, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you getting on the Reflector this evening. And, come back any time, because we're always happy to have folks from Europe or any place else visit us. So what I'm going to do now, and I have not forgotten about the two other people, but what I'm going to do now is call for regular check-ins. Apparently only Hugh was our mobile check-in for the night, so for regular check-ins, come with your call sign twice and slowly, please.
Mike 7 Echo Victor Papa calling from the UK. Mike 7 Echo Victor Papa calling from the UK. First person would be Gary. Yourself?
N3LLY in and out. N3LLY in and out. Sounds good, Terry.
Kilo 7 Victor Whiskey Papa. Kilo 7 Victor Whiskey Papa.
N6QDY in and out. N6QDY in and out.
Victor Alpha 3 Yankee Bravo Sierra. Victor Alpha 3 Yankee Bravo Sierra.
Kilo 6 Golf Bravo Zulu K6 GBZ in and out.
So Echo 4 Alpha Tango Romeo in and out. Kilo Echo 4 Alpha Tango Romeo in and out. Good evening from Orlando.
Kilo Mike 7 Delta Quebec Yankee. This is Kilo. This is KM7 QY.
Kilo Mike 7 Alpha Foxtrot Lima.
Would you come back, please, and give me your call sign again?
Kilo Mike 7 Delta Quebec Yankee.
Right. Thank you very much, and I'll tell you what. Let's go with what we have right now so that people don't have to spend a lot of time. From the bottom up, and I'll only read the stations that, I won't read the stations that are just in and out, although we certainly thank everybody for checking in. From the bottom up, KM7 DQY, VA3 YBS, K7 VWP, M7 EVP from Lincolnshire. Who's next? K2 CMT. And Mike, you're at the top of the list. So what say you?
Good evening, Terry. And you may not believe it, but I am mobile in my own driveway, if that counts. But the answer to the question, I utilize SDR stations on high frequency during the nets, sometimes on Thursday and on Saturday for a 20 and a 40 meter net. So I do make use of SDR radio. You have a good evening, everybody. This is K2CMT. Back to control.
Thank you, Mike. I must say that some people will go to extremes just to call themselves a mobile operator. Anyway, next up is M7EVP. Gary in Lincolnshire, UK. Gary, do you use an internet software-defined radio when you operate your station?
Mike 7 Echo Victor Papa, thank you very much for bringing me into your stations. I listen to the nets in the USA quite a lot of times. I mostly put it on the afternoon in the kitchen, listening when I'm cooking. But yeah, I use a node, and I get through by the internet by HubNet control panel. That's what we use at the moment. But I've got aerial on the roof, and I just can't seem to get one of the mobile radios tuned into the local repeater. Don't know how to do it on the radio, but no idea how to do it the week. But yes, I do. Thank you very much. Mike 7 Echo Victor Papa, thank you. Thank you there, Terry.
Gary, thank you. You know, if you've got your radio on while you're in the cooking and you're not afraid to drop your handheld or whatever in the cooking pot, come on and give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. Next in line is Mike in South Ogden, Utah, K7VWP. Mike, good evening.
Good evening, this is K7VWP. I have SDR radio, but I seldom use it when I'm working high frequency or anything like that, so I'm going to have to say no, I do not use it. But I do like to listen every once in a while when I'm not trying to make contact. So K7VWP, back to net control.
All right, Mike. Thank you very much. Next in line from Dunville, Ontario, Canada is Bill, VA3YBS. Good evening, Bill.
Good evening, Terry and Gil. Thanks to both of you for running the net tonight. Software-defined radio. I don't use it when I'm on the radio, but I do have a SDR dongle hooked up, but the problem is it's in a completely different room. It's down in my workshop in the basement. I have been thinking recently about moving that so that it's in the same room where my radio is, and that would be an extra added benefit. So at the moment, no, but maybe in the future. This is VA3YBS. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Bill. And I have two stations, an apology. I forgot to recognize and call on K1TPK and KM7CUW. Both of you were text check-ins, and I just missed you. I apologize. So let's go to Garrett in Chandler, Arizona, KM7CUW. Garrett, good evening. KM7CUW. Garrett, are you there, sir? Well, Garrett is apparently not there. So, Garrett, if somehow you're listening, I apologize, sir. I should not have missed you. Let's go to Kathy, K1TPK in South Dennis, Massachusetts. Good evening, Kathy.
Kilo 1, Tango Papa Kilo. Good evening, and no apology necessary. I was in the hot seat in December, and it's a lot harder than it looks. I guess I've only been licensed for 4 months, but my whole ham life is software defined. I have an FT710, which is my HF rig. I've got a couple of Chinese HTs, which I'm talking to you right now. Those are software defined. But in terms of Ethernet SDRs, I will admit occasionally, provided you're not my boss, that I listen in on the Internet SDRs occasionally, try to find a net in the afternoon when, I'm looking for something to distract me a little bit. K1TPK, back to that.
Well, Kathy, I won't tell anyone if you don't. So, in fact, I think I'm speaking for Gil and Mark also that your secret is safe with us. Let's go down. Let me recognize 2 new people who checked in by text, and I'll get to the 2 of you in just a moment. It's KQ4GLY, Chris, and WB3ILA, Stephen. But next, let's go to KM7DQY. Boy, and I'll try your name, but I'll bet I get it wrong. I'm going to say it's Ritter, but everybody I see in the Zoom room right now is shaking their heads like, I got it wrong. In Portland, Oregon. So what's, number 1, tell me how to pronounce your name correctly so I won't embarrass either of us again. And answer our question for us.
It's pronounced writer, and I remember the question, to be honest.
Well, you had to listen to me, so I can understand why you forgot. Do you use an internet software-defined radio, often called an SDR, when you operate your station?
I believe I use an internet thing, whatever the name is. I use usually just repeaters that are linked, and normally otherwise, like HF, like all over the world stuff. So yeah.
Cool. Well, it's nice hearing from you this evening. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for being on the Reflector. Let's go down to WB3ILA, Stephen in Easton, Pennsylvania. Stephen, what do you have to say this evening?
Good evening, Terry. This is my first time checking on this particular net. I do not have an SDR. I had to look it up, actually. I got my license back in the 70s when I was a teenager, and then got married and had kids and put everything away, and just got back into it as of November, and I got like a straight-up VHF, UHF transceiver here, and I'm resurrecting my 50-year-old Uniden Tempo 2020, if you ever want to look that up. It's got 3 vacuum tubes, a hybrid, and I've yet to try transmitting on it. So that's it. That's my situation. So good talking to you. WB3ILA.
All right, Stephen. Thanks for checking in this evening. Nice to hear from you, and come back anytime. We love to talk to folks, and we always have a question to answer. It looks like next up is KQ4GLY, Chris in Parrish, Florida. Chris, how are you this evening?
Good evening, Terry, and everyone on the net. Doing well here. No, I do not use an SDR radio.
All right, Chris, thank you. This is N5RTC on the East Coast Reflector. We have two new text check-ins, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to take care of those, and then we'll do another call for general check-ins. So I have W2RBC, Randy, and WB2JPQ, Dick. So Dick, nice of you to join us. How are you this evening?
Good evening, Terry. I'm great. Thanks for doing the net. I do not own an SDR per se, although, I mean, you can take any Bofang as basically an SDR radio. But I do not own an SDR, but I do use some remote SDRs occasionally during nets on 40 meters. So I kind of use the K3FEF remote, but I don't own an SDR, but I do use remote SDR once in a while. Back to you, WB2JPQ.
Thank you, Dick. And for those of you who don't know, Dick, WB2JPQ, is one of the founders, one of the creators of the East Coast Reflector. So it's always nice to have him join us for these nets. Let's do W2RBC, Randy in West Seneca, New York. Good evening, Randy.
Good evening, Terry, Oliver, Mark, Gil, and everyone on the Open Mic Net. Yes, I use internet-based SDRs on working HF nets. They really help net controllers and loggers verify call signs. Back to net control, 73 to all, W2RBC.
All right, Randy, thank you. An announcement that starting tomorrow, the M1KE peer group will be held on the fourth Thursday of each month at 8 p.m. in the ECR Zoom room. And if you don't happen to have an M1KE and just want to ask some questions, you're thinking about buying it, we've got some folks in there who you definitely want to talk to. That's the fourth Thursday of each month at 8 p.m. in the Zoom room. With that, let's do general radio calls. Please give me your call sign twice and slowly.
Alpha Juliet November.
VK3KZ. VK3KZ.
2HLF.
KQ4QES, Kilo Quebec 4, Quebec Echo Sierra.
KE5BBT, Conroe, Texas.
Mike 7, Bravo Uniform Papa, Kilo 7, Bravo Uniform Papa.
Okay, stop right there. I'm going to read back the call signs that we were able to log, and there are a couple of you whose calls we didn't catch. So starting at the bottom of the list, WA2AJN, KM7BUP, KQ4QES, VK3KEZ. Now, there was a KE5 station that we thought sounded like BBT. Would you come back and give us your call sign again, please?
This is KE5 Bravo Golf. B. Donald down here in Conroe, Texas.
Okay, Donald, thank you. And there was at least one station whose call I did not read off. If you'd come back and let's put you in the log.
KE2HLF.
All right. Let me go up the list. KE2HLF, WA2AJN, KM7BUP, KE5BBG, KQ4QES, and VK3KEZ. Brian in Australia, we'll start with you.
So I have an SDR receiver but no SDR transmitter. VK3K is that by?
Okay, Brian. Thank you. It's nice to see you this evening. Let's go to KQ4QES. John in Hawthorne, Florida. All right, Donald, thank you. Next up is KM7BUP. Dan in Layton, Utah. Good evening, Dan.
Hey, good evening. I've only had my license since July, so I've been buying analog radios. Really enjoying my Yaesu handhelds. They make a huge difference after initially buying some Chinese radios. KM7BUP. Back to you. Thank you.
All right, Dan, thank you. I have two people remaining on the list, KE2HLF and WA2AJN. I'm going to save those for Oliver at the bottom of the hour. That's Oliver, KE8VLC. And I'd like you to think about something, not just Oliver. Well, Oliver's here tonight. Everybody, if you'd like to join me and become a net controller, go to ecr.radio/join open mic and join is all one word, and Mike is spelled M-I-C. If you'll fill out the form and let us know you're interested, we'll get in touch with you. There's no commitment. You don't need experience as a net controller. We'll train you. We'll support you. We'll make sure you're a success. So it is 8:30, and I'm turning the net over to Oliver, KE8VLC. Thanks for your participation. 73. This is N5RTC.
Good evening, everyone. This is Oliver out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, KE8VLC. Next up on the list is KE5BBG, Donald out of Conroe, Texas.
I say hello to everybody out there on the net there. This is KE5BBG, B. Donald in Conroe, Texas. And I don't own a SDR receiver, but I got an SDR dongle, and I'm talking to you on a QYT 8900, and what I'm talking to you on, and K5BBG.
Awesome. Next up is WA2AJN, Robert of West Milford, New Jersey.
Alpha Juliet Whiskey 2 Alpha Juliet November. It's actually Robert, but from Eastchester. Thanks. Nice evening. I do not have an SDR radio right now. 8600 going into the net. A SDR perhaps 710. Back to the net. So Whiskey 2 Alpha Juliet November.
Okay, next up is KE2HLF, Mark out of Smithtown, New York. Do you use a software-defined radio or an SDR?
KE2HLF. Yes, I actually have defined radios, everything from the RTL SDRs, which were 25, all the way up to the Edis Research, which is now owned by National Instruments. And the things in between, like the HackRF and the HackRF Pro, which just came out. Basically, to listen to traffic, I actually contribute quite heavily to Order software, which is a C++ program for decoding P25 signals right out of the air. Been using it quite a little. W3 all back next. E2HLF.
That's awesome. My brother uses C++, but that's a little above my head with that kind of stuff. Next up is WA1WOK, Cal out of Nottingham, North New Hampshire. Do you own or do you use a software-defined radio?
Okay, good evening to everybody on the net. WA1WOK, Cal in Nottingham, New Hampshire. And yes, I do use SDRs. I have an SDR IQ that is here at the shack, which will be going online probably in a couple of weeks. I also have another SDR that is connected to my Yaesu FTDX 5000 as a PAN adapter, and I also use it for VHF UHF on that SDR, and I do use the internet SDRs occasionally when I'm on certain nets and I want to hear stations that I can't hear very well locally. So that's what I have, and I'm coming into the network tonight using the New England SIP phone system. So that's where I'm at tonight. Back to that.
Nice. Next up is KE2EDS, Mark of Alma, New York.
Well, good evening, Oliver. You're doing it awesome. Jerry, great job as well. As far as that SDR radio, I'm going to say no. You guys keep up the good work. You're doing a great job. KE2, yes, back to that.
Next up is K4GDS, Guild, Orlando, Florida. Do you have do you use an SDR radio?
Good evening, Oliver. You're doing great. No, I don't use an SDR, Internet Connect Radio. K4GDS, back to that.
Okay, it looks like we're at the bottom of the list. Let's bring in some more general check-ins. Call sign twice and slowly.
November 7th, Foxtrot Golf Papa, N7 SGP.
Looks like that's one on the, nope, looks like there's two on the list. If there's anyone else, general check-in, give your call sign twice and slowly. Okay. Looks like I've got N7FGP, Scott of Jamestown, New York, and I've got N5RTC, Terry out of Austin, Texas. I'll start from the top. Let's go to N7FGP, Scott of Jamestown, New York. Do you use a software-defined radio?
Well, good evening, Oliver. You're doing a great job out there tonight. I use internet software-defined radio just to listen right now. I'm getting ready to get a little bit better HF rig. I don't have much set up now, so. But I do intend more in the future once I get it going. Anyhow, thank you for doing the net. Back to you.
Very much. Looks like we're down to N5RTC, Terry out of Austin, Texas. Do you use a software-defined radio or an SDR radio?
Hello again, Oliver. Yes, I do. I live in an area of Austin, Texas with a very high noise level. So I have an SDR at a friend's location in rural Maryland, long ways away. This is N5RTC, back to net control.
Awesome. Thanks, Terry. Let's get some more check-ins. General check-ins. Just give your call sign twice and slowly.
K2 CMT, Kilo 2, Charlie Mike Tango.
Okay. I've got K2 CMT Mike out of DeBerry, Florida. Do we have any in and outs?
This is K2AP, Kilo 2, Alpha Papa, in and out. Good evening to the net.
Okay. K2 TMT Mike of DeBerry, Florida. Do you use a software-defined radio or an SDR radio?
Good evening, Oliver. This is Mike in DeBerry, Florida, and I've answered that question earlier, so I don't want to put an answer in on this slot and skew the scale. But I checked in with Terry. He needed all the help he could get. And it's about this time of night when the calls start getting a little bit thin that we call on Dan to do a little song for us. But I don't see Dan in the Zoom room tonight. Maybe he'll check in here a little later. If it all breaks down to Gil singing, we're in trouble. That's all I got to say. You have a great evening, Oliver, and keep up a stiff upper lip.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Let's maybe get some more check-ins. Maybe we can do some in and out. Otherwise, I guess we can bring in some other ones too. If you want to check in on that, go ahead and do that. Or if you want an in and out, just give your call sign twice and slowly.
Yeah, this is K2AP, Kilo 2, Alpha Papa. I tried before to check in. I guess maybe you didn't hear me. Kilo 2, Alpha Papa. Good evening to the net.
N2BH. N2BH.
Okay, I've got K2AP, Joe out of East Islip, New York. Looks like that was an in and out. And we've got N2BH, Bill out of Palmyra, New York. I'm probably, yeah. Anyways, I guess I'll go ahead. and wait for a few more check-ins, and then we'll get going from the list. Call sign twice and slowly.
Kilo Foxtrot 4 Zulu Lima Golf. Kilo Foxtrot 4 Zulu Lima Golf. Check me in and out. 73.
Oscar 6 Lima Sierra X-ray. Kilo Oscar 6 Lima Sierra X-ray. In and out.
I think I called on K2AP, Joe of East Islip, New York. I think that was supposed to be announced. But Joe, did you want to answer the question?
Yeah, this is K2AP. I have one ATS25 Max decoder SDR radio right in front of me. And I'm not sure, but I believe the IC7300 is also SDR. But I have at least a minimum of one SDR radio running on what they call an Arduino board made for radio. K2AP, back to that.
This is KEACLC. However, looks like we've got N2BH Bill of Palmyra. Oh, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Palmyra, New York. KF4ZLG Dennis of New Bern, North Carolina. In and out. K06LSX of Adrian, New York? Adrian of San Jose. And it looks like it's the first time you checked in. But you're in and out. Thanks for checking into the net. Let's go with N2BH Bill of Palmer, New York.
Good evening, Oliver. Yep, you got it right. Palmyra, New York. No, I don't use any SDR radios. N2BH.
Yeah, I've been studying for my general, so I've been kind of learning a little bit about SDR radios. I probably should get a few of them. Let's go for some more check-ins. You're welcome to check in and out if you would like. Call sign twice and slowly.
November 4, Romeo Hotel Echo. November 4, Romeo Hotel Echo.
Whiskey 2, Echo Mike, W2EM.
Bravo 5, India Tango Tango, WB5ITT Mobile, in and out.
Looks like we have N4RHE, Roger of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. W2EM, Lancaster, New York. And WB5ITT, I hope I'm getting that one right, Chris of Beaumont, Texas, in and out. Start at N4RHE, Roger, of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Do you use a software-defined radio?
Good evening, Oliver. Thank you for running the net. Sound good? November 4, Romeo Echo. Yes, I have an RSP Duo SDR play, and I have 2 ICOM SDR transceivers. November 4, Roger Ham Enthusiast. Return to net.
Okay, let's go down to WTEM, Chuck, out of Lancaster, New York. You use a software-defined radio.
Good evening, everyone. As far as internet software-defined radio, going through the internet, picking up a station in maybe a different state or so. Not normally. Once in a while I will, but normally I'm okay without it. But if things get really bad, then I might pop one up on my my computer there. So anyway, back to net control. W2EM, and I'll be clear.
Okay, let's get a few more check-ins. Give your call sign twice and slowly.
Juliet Papa Sierra, November 7, Juliet Papa Sierra, in and out.
Okay, things are really slow on the net tonight. I think we're going to read out this last call sign and return the reflector to normal use. N7JPS, Joseph out of Sparks, Nevada, maybe? Sorry, I'm bad on my abbreviations. Do you use a software-defined radio or an SDR radio? I realize that was an in and out. Sorry about that. Looks like this is going to be it, and I'm going to return the reflector back to normal use. This is KE8VLC Oliver out of Grand Rapids, Michigan.